I ride exclusively single speed mountain bikes. The trails here in Western Mass are very classic New England, tight, twisty, very technical, rocky, rooty. What I've learned, parenting is gnarly.
I got my hat! Mom.
Yours is that blue one right there. And parenting's a big adventure. And as a cyclist, like it's so much part of who I am. To be able to bring the kind of bikepacking and the touring to my kids feels like as awesome as being able to like find the flow and technical terrain. Ready, regulators? Mount up.
Have a great time.
Right, Alice. Woo!
Do you want to go on an adventure with Papa like that someday?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, yeah.
Eleanor started riding probably when she was a year old in the house. And then she got on a balance bike at 2.5. Like a lot of kids, when they're feeling good, they'll do it and they'll like put it all out there. And when they're not, like they'll wear that on their face too, and you'll know when they're not. So that's kind of what makes it possible at this age to do things that might be beyond their comfort zone.
Hammer like a hammerhead shark.
She got sick last September. She had stumbled and twisted her leg, and she wasn't walking.
And it was the head of school at a preschool that was the first person to tell us, like, hey, you need to have her checked out. So she got blood tests and then got a call that afternoon, like, there's something really wrong here.
You know, they, at that point, said, like, it might be leukemia. And for us, that was, like, the worst thing to hear. We later found out what's great about leukemia is that there's a cure. I mean, it's 95% curable. And so there's a plan, and we're in the midst of it. You know, I think for adults who've gone through cancer treatment, chemo was just debilitating, but children metabolize the drugs very differently. And I mean, it was in that first week in the hospital that the doctors were saying to us, like, she'll be on drugs and she'll be a little kid.
So in planning this trip, we did have to time it to not coincide with what we call her steroid week, which is a monthly 5-day stretch where she's on steroids that does slow her down a lot. At 5.5, she has really good balance and agility, and that's like super important for biking, right? Core balance. I trust her so much to not put herself in an unsafe situation. If I didn't have that trust for her, I would be like reminding her to walk in this really sketchy section. Pedal to the metal. Because if she does have impact, it could be more serious and be an issue. When in doubt, throw the bike down. And to make it the most fun possible, I had a lot of options. You know, totally independent, partly assisted, or attached to my bike, pedaling herself, you know, still getting exercise and still contributing, but being, you know, me having full control and doing most of the work. It made it fun to have all those options. So the route was intended to be interesting, with a variety of terrain and not too much climbing. So we went northwest about 13 miles up into the hills and headed to our camping destination, a lean-to in West Whately. From there we rode 12 miles back home via the Norwottuck Rail Trail, a nice flat paved rail trail. One thing that's really nice about bikepacking versus like cross-country mountain bike racing is it's slower. The intention of it is to experience your surroundings. High five, give it to me. Woohoo!
She's on chemo daily. She's in a phase of the chemo that's called maintenance.
one and done.
Being a parent, you're letting go. Having a kid who's sick, you're letting go. And then there's the being grateful for what we have. So, you know, look around and I see parents taking care of kids that are even more sick and will be their whole lives. And I just imagine what they're giving up and what they're letting go to care for that child. It's really amazing. And being super grateful for our community because they definitely held us up through this and made it possible for Eleanor's mom to take time off work and to just keep us together and happy, like keep things really positive. Like our community was really instrumental in that.
Hometown.
How was your night? Oh, snuggles. Was it cold? Was it really, really cold?
They grew up there on the river, down on the riverside. Muskrat roast for Sunday dinner, everybody satisfied. Those two kids never could be parted, run around side by side. Young love, so open-hearted, the river so deep and wide.
Papa, stop! I told you that wasn't a good idea.
Floating on a raft in the thick of summer, fishing with a toe-tied line. Raised by the river, raised by the running weather of water in time. Flash flood came with a hammer of thunder out of a clear blue sky. It took away one and left the other down on the riverside.